Folks, it's official. Disney has released an absolute masterpiece, a box office blockbuster with Cruella. It came out this weekend. It came out this past weekend, and it has a $44 million worldwide box office, $28.631 million at the box in the domestic U.S. revenues. There is nothing, that could possibly touch this, especially in the pandemic era. And I would...
You got knocked the out.
Oh, shit.
Renegade Online.
Oh, man. If you didn't know this Disney turd was going to drop like a hot, thick piece of excrement, shame on you. Shame on you. Cruella landed with an absolute donkey pile. This thing, wow, what a massive, absolute, abject, pathetic embarrassment for the Walt Disney Company that this movie is. And, it's great to say that, well, it's the pandemic and it's this and it's that and the theaters were... No, those excuses are gone. Even after Fast and the Furious 9 had a huge tank from weekend 1 to weekend 2 in international markets, thanks to John Cena tucking it between his legs and coming out based on the advice of his lawyers and his agents to apologize to that country on the east side from here of the Pacific that is run by some political, radical, genocidal maniacs. So, even with John Cena stepping in a giant cow pie, this is the much funnier story. And as if this wasn't obvious, so blatantly, just terribly obvious going into this weekend, that this movie, that, and I say this movie, not what's on screen right now, but this, Cruella was going to be a massive disaster. This was one of the most easily bettable things I've ever seen in my life. Nobody asked for this movie. Nobody cared about this character. 101 Dalmatians was one of the most beloved Disney pieces of their massive animated franchise lineup. And this just looked like a completely hot, wet turd from day one, and it sure landed with a splat. I tried to figure out, how is this reaction to Disney's weekend going? And I knew they were going to try to hide it behind Disney Plus numbers, right? Because that's where Disney, and not just Disney, but so many Hollywood studios right now are hiding behind streaming numbers, right? Because they don't really have to report that. They can say that, well, not as many people went to the theaters because they can pick it up on things like Disney Plus, because we were able to completely con job people into shelling out $30 for Mulan, which then we decided to release for free, quote unquote free, on the Disney Plus service 90 days after we were charging $30 for it. So surely people will show up again, being suckered again into crappy movies being produced by the crappy modern Disney cache of crappy writers, and they'll pay for it on Disney Plus, right? Oh shit. Yeah, no, it didn't really work out too well. Cruella's first weekend on Disney Plus, almost 40% behind Mulan. And of course, Mulan was such a massive success. I mean, I was trying to think of ways to describe this past weekend with Disney, and I just, I just couldn't come up with anything. I really could. I'm sorry. I've got dry skin this weekend, guys. I really couldn't come up with any way to describe, the pain that Disney Plus must be feeling right now. It's unfathomable. How do you really put into words, what's going on at Disney right now? I don't know. It's got to be awful. I mean, these guys are sitting on movie after movie, franchise after franchise that they keep farting out, hoping that, the American public is so stupid and uneducated and so lowbrow that it doesn't matter what we put out. They'll just gobble it up, right? Yeah. All joking aside, and I want to make this very, very clear. This is not a knock at all against the actors and actresses that are in this movie. And I particularly mean this to Emma Stone. I mean, I do my humor and my shtick on here, and I do my funny stuff. I'm a big Emma Stone fan. I think she's a great actress. I think Emma Stone is a wonderful actress. I think she's very, very talented. I have enjoyed, I think, everything I've ever seen Emma Stone in. I mean, particularly things like when she had her coming out party with Superbad, and then Easy A and things like that. These were great movies. These were fun movies, and she was a great actress in them. This is another thing of, we're watching good actresses and good actors being stuck in bad scripts, bad movies. And I haven't seen this movie. Full disclosure, I have not. I have no plan to. I don't care. I saw the opening scene, if you can call it that, on YouTube, where they've taken I think one of the best villains that Disney has ever concocted in their history, Cruella de Vil, and turned it into a Harley Quinn wannabe, a Margot Robbie wannabe, and they did a piss poor job of it. To have the opening scene, to have Cruella de Vil now being somebody who is driven by the fact that her mother was killed by Dalmatians. I'm like, are you serious? Dalmatians. Some of the sweetest dogs, one of the most sweet breeds of any dog out there. And she was killed by Dalmatians. This is lazy frickin' writing at its worst. I don't even know where to go with this. I really don't. I really, really don't. And Disney, I'm so happy that you are suffering the wrath of audiences with this turd you dropped. This is just garbage, and you should be ashamed of yourselves, and you need to rethink everything you are doing right now. Because let me put things into perspective. The same weekend, you got trashed, and I mean freaking trashed by John Krasinski and A Quiet Place Part 2. Now, this is I own a 4K copy of the first movie. It's a fun movie. It's not a movie that I've watched over and over again a million times, but it is a movie that I would be happy to sit down and watch multiple times. It's fun. It's clever. The pacing is good. The fact that it has very little dialogue and relies solely on the actors and the direction by John Krasinski himself, I think is a testament to the talent of that man. And I think he's a very talented man. But he's come out with a horror movie, that not only beat Cruella at the box office, but doubled up on it. This is an abomination. This is an embarrassment beyond belief to Disney. And guess what comes out this weekend? Another great horror movie that I'm absolutely looking forward to, with the new Conjuring installment to that franchise, from Vera Farmiga, who is an absolutely brilliant, talented woman, talented writer, producer. Everything she has done with The Conjuring, with the Annabelle series, with all of that, The Nun, all of that comes from that same Blumhouse, Vera Farmiga, I think it's Blumhouse, right? Vera Farmiga mindset, that whole production. She has been fantastic. And if you haven't ever seen Bates Motel, the TV show that she produced, it is absolutely phenomenal. There are still very talented people in Hollywood. There are still very talented and dedicated writers out there in Hollywood, and they're trying to get out. They're trying to do their jobs. I feel bad for some of these people because they are getting buried behind absolute generic machine-generated garbage out there. And on the few short months that I've been on YouTube, I have had the distinct honor and pleasure of meeting some of these writers, these professional Hollywood writers. And we need to listen to more folks like them. We really do. Because I think they hate as much of this generic, machine pumped out, mass produced trash as I do. And I think as a lot of you do too. So we have an absolute, unequivocal script at this point for Hollywood to follow. Everything you know is wrong, in the words of Weird Al Yankovic. Everything you know is wrong. You need to fix everything about yourselves. Everything. If you produce good quality entertainment, we'll come back. It's like the old saying from Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Listen to these words of wisdom, guys. Because right now, you guys suck. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing beyond belief. Until next time, take care. This is your friendly neighborhood Valiant Renegade. Make sure you like and subscribe to the video, and please share it out. Appreciate you being here. Take care.